To understand the suit of wands, it may be helpful to think of 4 items that occur in childhood. Not all 4 happen to any person. In fact, probably only 1 or 2. The first is anger upon emerging from the womb, and you can't get back to the womb, right? So there's a movement forward and not backward. In the non-dual state before birth, it's not an issue. You can take things apart, put them together, because nothing actually exists. But once you're in a body on Earth, then you suddenly start to realize you don't know how to put things back together. It's possible you can't put things back together, and you don't have control. So with the gut types in the Enneagram, the anger at the birth is the most prevalent. For the image types in the Enneagram, it's not having control over the maternal gaze. You realize you need the gaze, but when you lose it, you're not 100% able to restore it. And then those are the image types. And then the third type is the fear types. And this has to do with object permanence. You fixate on the fact that an object doesn't stay where you want it to stay, and you may not remember it, or it may move, or it may somehow disappear. The childhood fairy tale of Humpty Dumpty and the disturbance that children feel when they can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. It's their first concept of entropy. How does this relate to wands? Faced with the fear about entropy and things falling apart and not having control, and then the anger at coming into the world, the shame at not being able to keep the mother's gaze, and the fear of object impermanence. Then we have this energy that is trying to move up. This, you can call it Kundalini energy, fire energy. It's trying to move up. And what we do is, for comfort and security and to exercise our jaws, we seek out something to absorb or control. And so typically the interpretation of wands has to do with new idea, bold adventure, conflict, finding harmony, and determination. And that may be fine, but if we're seeking to have a deeper understanding of entropy and this energy that is moving us forward, moving towards complexity while distracting us from simplicity. And you can go to the Garden of Eden story or Spiral Dynamics for further exploration of how that complexity manifests. But the paradox is how to connect with this energy that wants to evolve and grow and expand, but at the same time maintain the peace and simplicity. And so if you look at the card readings from that perspective, then the question that you're asking is, in the presence or absence of whatever this card is representing, whether it's a new thought, a bold adventure, conflict, harmony, do I have whatever my values purport that I want? So for example, if your values are peace, harmony, trust, ease, acceptance, then can you find that even while energy is rising, or in a positive or negative way, or not rising? If there is no new thought, if there is no bold adventure. Because when you typically read the tarot, people want to know, is there a new thought? Is there a new adventure? A divination. But if we look at it from, I want to connect with this force of entropy while not denying the force that's bringing in order, then we're bringing both the yin and the yang, And we're seeking to find peace even as things become more complex or in conflict, or we can't maintain the harmony, or there's no new thought that's going to rescue us from how we're feeling. To me, this is a more sophisticated way of looking at wands, but it's a lot less clear. We get comfort and we get security when we understand what's happening in life, and that's why people turn to the tarot. But what we're trying to do here is a different objective. Yes, comfort and security is ultimately what we'd like to have, but there's a willingness to look at how our values are disrupted by whatever's manifesting in the world. The values become the security and the comfort, the North Star, the organizing principle, not the cards. The cards are what sparks our awareness that we are or are not having the patience, if that's our value, the humility, if that's our value, the trust and ease and acceptance, if that's our value, or whatever our value happens to be. So the cards aren't going to go our way necessarily. And in fact, when they do go our way, we're going to congratulate ourselves, feel pride, and then we may lose the very energy the card was describing. So in some ways, it's better to get a negative reverse card to look at the work that still has to be done.